Hello there and welcome to another video. It's been a fair few days since the last video, but we're going to look at some defenders for Liverpool, or ones that Liverpool are linked to anyway. And the source for that is from Sky Sports. That's where all these names have come from anyway. And I'm looking at them on transfermarkt.co.uk. Seems to be the very most used website when looking at players anyway. But seeing as it's been a few days, I would first like to wish every single one of you a good day, good night, wherever you may be. I've had my shifts changed again at work, so I'm making an evening video. It's a mad one at the moment, and my head's a little bit of a mess. But we keep on going on, and we keep trying to do the best we can anyway. But I just want to wish you guys the very best. I hope you guys have had a good day, and I hope you have a good evening, whatever you happen to be doing anyway. And also, a good week ahead. Now, let's get into it. Now, why are we looking at defenders for Liverpool? Primarily, most likely, just because we need to have good backup. Good backup is going to be really key for Liverpool next season. It really, really is. Our starting 11 can go up against any team in the league. You put together a Harlem Globetrotter style team to come up against the Liverpool team, we're still gonna put on a very, very good game. You could put a Ronaldo, a Messi, Mbappe, all these guys in the same team, and we will still put on a good team. We'll still put on a good show, I should say. However, when we do have to go and delve into like the bench, and we've got a good bench, but we haven't got a great bench. Like when you look at our bench, it's not always going to be the best. And make no mistake, I'm not saying that we need to have first team, high quality players on the bench, but you want to have people that are on the bench that are good quality, have the potential to be great quality, potential to be starting 11 players, and have that nice little competition between all places as well. And we don't really currently have that at Liverpool, if I'm being completely honest, in my opinion anyway. I personally believe only Joel Matip can even challenge that starting lineup in the back four. And even then, Joel Matip has to be completely on it, and Joe Gomez has to be completely off it. Virgil van Dijk would have to be completely off it or injured. It's Nico Williams is doing great as well, coming up behind Trent Alexander-Arnold. And I've got no issues with Nico Williams whatsoever. I don't look at right back as being a particular focus for us anyway. But left back and having centre back cover is going to be vital. I truly believe it. Now, one of the names, and I didn't know, and if I don't know a player or I haven't watched a player and seen them play, I will tell you. I'm just going to be reading off. If I've seen the player play, then I can go off experience. But most of the time, if we're going to be linked to players, I'm not necessarily going to know who they are and how they performed at their club. All I can look at is the stats and how much they played or whatever for their team. Lloyd Kelly, left back, 21 years old, and he plays for Bournemouth. Now, obviously we've seen Bournemouth have been relegated, and also Eddie Howe has left the club. So it might see quite a big overhaul at Bournemouth happen, where not just like first team players, but maybe players and I'll be honest with you, I don't know if they do, if Bournemouth have an academy or anything like that. Will these players start to get disillusioned because all they've known is, Eddie Howe? He's been at the club for 25 years. A lot of things could change here. And I don't know whether this Lloyd Kelly has actually, played good football with Bournemouth. It's difficult to tell when it's a relegated team. It really is. We've seen it with Andy Robertson. We've seen it with Gini Wijnaldum. These guys get relegated, but they seem to have something in them that gets them attracted by, a team that's in the league, still in the Premier League, and also, up higher up in the league, like us, being the champions, maybe being linked with a player like this. There's got to be a reason. Now, when I look at Transfermarkt here, its main position obviously says left back, but has the ability to be able to play centre back as well. You always have to look at these when you're concerning Liverpool, because adaptability is one of those things that is absolutely treasured by Jurgen Klopp. And it is really something that I think that other clubs is possibly underutilised, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I think when you look at, I think James Milner is the best example. You put that man anywhere on the pitch, centre mid, right mid, left back, centre back, striker, he will do the very best he can. And you know what? He will do a pretty good job, if not a damn good job, at doing it. Adaptability is a very, very key thing for Jurgen Klopp and for Liverpool as well. And you've seen it a couple of times. I think, what was it? I think it was the Club World Cup where Jordan Henderson had to play centre-back at some point as well. I think Virgil van Dijk couldn't play the first game over there, and Henderson was playing as a centre-back. Can't remember who he partnered, but we were having a bit of a crap show at that point, in terms of defenders and injuries and stuff like that as well. And Henderson, adaptability is just one of those things that is expected at Liverpool, and having the ability to play another position makes that link a little bit stronger. Him being a young player as well, and apparently with a market value of 7.2 million, you would also say it's really low risk to bring someone like that in. Now, I would also then argue, all right, Larouci at Liverpool is apparently going to be leaving, or has left. I'm not entirely sure what the progress is on that as well. But I would also then be looking at, okay, well, what else have Liverpool got? Well, we've got Adam Lewis, who played in the EFL Cup game, which we got beat 5-0 when we had to field the extremely young team that we did. And he played in the FA Cup as well, where I think it was against Everton. And we won that game, obviously. And I felt that in that performance alone, I felt he did a brilliant job at left back. I really did. He came up against what can be a tough Everton team under Carlo Ancelotti, and he put in a really good performance, in my opinion. And I look at that and I think, all right, so you could have Adam Lewis as backup to Andy Robertson. That doesn't necessarily mean we shouldn't go in for Lloyd Kelly or someone else that we may get linked to, because it just provides a little bit more backup. It would also mean that, obviously, Lloyd Kelly being 21, Adam Lewis being, how old is he? He's 20 years old. They're very similar in ages. It would also mean that maybe Adam Lewis could have a little bit more time developing, getting in and around the first team squad as well. But I think, if anything, it's just depth, and hopefully it'd be quality depth. People have also got to look at, yes, we got linked to David Alaba, and obviously Liverpool Twitter went a little bit like, yes, we need to be getting David Alaba. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen, because he's a first-team quality. He's been playing centre-back for Bayern Munich quite a bit, but he is a first-team and very, very top-class, if not world-class, left-back, is not going to sit on the bench behind Andy Robertson. That's not going to happen. And people need to get these ideas out their head. I've made a video about it before, but people need to get these ideas out their head that you're going to get a first-team level, like world-class, someone like a David Alaba, and just have them sit on the bench, or Andy Robertson sit on the bench. No, that's not going to happen. Not in my opinion. I am quite in favour of a signing like a Lloyd Kelly. He would come with a very minimal fee, because of, obviously, it will go down as well because they got relegated as well. And it's really, really low risk in terms of the fee. And also, he's not going to be expected to be in the starting 11 and stuff like that, week in, week out, all that sort of business. He will probably primarily be involved in like cup games, or where there's games where we can afford a bit of rotation. Then, yeah, that will absolutely, I'm a fan of it. I'm not opposed to it whatsoever. Now, I'm going to look at another player. Now, again, this is a player I don't know. And when I saw this link, genuinely, I've never seen the name in my entire life before. Algerian centre-back, plays for Real Betis, and I'm probably going to get the first name wrong. Asa Mandi. Right. Hopefully, that's okay. I genuinely know nothing about the player, apart from he's 28 years old. He's an Algerian centre-back, plays for Real Betis, and he's made 29 appearances this season. No goals, assists, stuff like that. I'm not really bothered about, like, with defenders. Has the ability, and again, this is the thing, has the ability, his main position is centre-back, has the ability to both play left-back and right-back. This is where, like, if you ever look at someone that's linked with Liverpool and has, like, one position, very, very rarely is that going to be someone that's a strong link, unless it's someone like a Salah or a Mane. And even then, these guys can play centre-forward, left wing, right wing. They're very versatile, all of them. This is, versatility is key. Versatility is key. He's played a lot of games as well in La Liga. I don't know where Real Betis finished in the league. But played there. He's played there for 4 years now, up until July. He's got a market value of 10.8 million. So whether this is reflective of the real market or not, at this current time, he's rated at 10.8 million. And if anything, could be a good option in terms of, like, let's have a, I want to see if, is there any, like, stats or comparisons or anything like that. Comparable players, let's not have Skodran Mustafi. Willy Bolly, all right, I can get behind that one. Orban at RB Leipzig, that's not a bad comparison either. Fabian Schär, John Egan, these are pretty good comparisons, to be fair, if we're looking at it. Nastasic as well, Mark Bartra, his actual centre-back partnership in Real Betis as well. That's actually pretty positive in my opinion. And again, if it's a £10.8 million deal, that's really, again, low risk. It's low risk, it's low money. Yes, he's 28 years old, but centre-backs can go, injuries, touch wood permitting, can go for quite a lot longer than, other players in other positions up and down the pitch. So again, and we need to get cover in at centre-back as well. We need to get some quality cover in at centre-back. Obviously, with Dejan Lovren leaving, that leaves a quality spot open. Everyone knows how I felt about Lovren. Wasn't really a fan of him, and I was really happy for him to leave last year. Never mind that he's left this year. So, having someone like that come in could be really, really good for us. The ideal one, which looks like he's going to be out of reach now, purely because of who else he's linked to, is Diego Carlos. We've been linked with him a good couple of times, but it looks like Manchester City are the front runners and favourites to sign him as well. He's a pacey centre-back. He's 27 years old, very, very good age. Primarily just a centre-back, but that's absolutely not a problem. If you've got your one position, then that's absolutely fine. He's, Brazilian centre-back, 27, 80% chance here that the probability of the transfer happens to Man City. Has been linked to Arsenal as well. And what would his transfer fee be? 45 million? Yeah, you'd be paying a little bit, but that's similar to what we paid for Fabinho. And you look at the player that Fabinho is as well. I'm not comparing them whatsoever. But he would be someone that would literally... You could see it, that Diego Carlos could come into the setup at Liverpool and challenge at least Joe Gomez. And Joe Gomez, being the young lad that he is, 21, 22, however old he is, he would benefit from that pushing as well. Van Dijk would as well. I'm not saying that Van Dijk is irreplaceable, but he fairly is, let's be honest. He's, you can't imagine, I rue the days when we start games that Virgil van Dijk isn't a centre-back. I really do. But you could tell that from the quality of player he is, the pace that he's got as well, quite an aggressive centre-back as well. And if we can get some more comparisons here, I mean, the comparisons here are quite, it's a shorter list, but compared to Rafael Varane at Real Madrid, Laporte's a quality centre-back, Harry Maguire as well, can be a very good quality centre-back as well, Marquinhos, Stefan de Vrij, and Antonio Rudiger, probably to a lesser extent, hopefully. Rudiger's a good centre-back on his day. But those are good comparisons to go by as well. Not saying that the player's exactly like them, but you get a feel, if you've never watched him play, what you get with him. Very, he is an aggressive centre-back, positionally quite good as well, but he's got recovery pace for days. And that is what you need when you come into a Liverpool system as well. You need recovery pace because of how you're going to be required, to play. While you have the ball, our defence isn't going to be sat on the D of our box. You're going to be sat on the halfway line. You're going to be sat in the centre circle. And when the ball comes in and the ball goes behind, or someone's making a run and a ball goes in behind, your recovery pace has got to be Van Dijk level, Joe Gomez level. Has to be like that. Andy Robertson as well. Got to give him a shout on his pace. That's what it's got to be like. Diego Carlos looks like he's on his way to Manchester City. And to be fair, Manchester City really, really do need to sort out their centre-back issues. That they've got Laporte's quality. Laporte is a very, very good centre-back as well. But they really have... You can tell that they've missed not replacing Vincent Kompany. The hole that he's left and the players that they've tried to fit in there, like Otamendi, John Stones, I'm probably missing out a couple of names here. Fernandinho being dropped into centre-back position as well. It's not ideal. So once they get that, if they get that sorted with Diego Carlos, that defence is going to look a lot more solid and a lot more organised. Probably will leak less goals as well. But those are the players that we're linked to. And to be honest, I'd be happy with any of them, all of them. All of them isn't going to happen. But Lloyd Kelly, that'd be a really good one to happen as well. Mandi, because I don't want to try the first name again. I'm really sorry. I don't want to butcher it. I think it was Isa or Asa Mandi. I think that any of these could be a really good option as well. But, as I've said before, I'm not going to extend this video much longer. But we've also got options that could be used in the academy as well. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think any of these transfer links, rumours, all that sort of stuff, do you think that they're realistic? Are these things that could happen for Liverpool? Or do you think that we're going to maybe look in different areas? I personally think we should be looking at backup for defence first before anywhere else, because I think we can supplement everywhere else in the team with players that we've already got and academy players as well, where people might not be a fan of that, but I genuinely think that, you know, and I'm going to make a separate video about all this sort of stuff as well. I'll do that, definitely, about like midfield and attack, where I don't think we need as much reinforcement as people think. But I think defensively and goalkeeper as well, I think backup there and good quality backup is something that's going to be desperately needed for Liverpool into the next season, especially if we want to take every single, you know, be competitive at the highest level in every single cup competition that we can be. I think that that's going to be key for us. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do like it and subscribe if you're new around here. Please do feel free to get your comments and thoughts in below as well. But for now, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go make some food. I will reiterate as well. Hope you have a good day, a good week, whatever. Something good in your week. Something that can make you smile, feel good. I hope something like that happens in your week this week. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you later.